far we have seen simple level algorithms like decision tree, linear, logistic, okay, and we have saw what is the maths behind it, what is the statistics, and we came across the Python language till this level. So if you have missed any video so far, please do watch that and then come to this ensemble learning. So what is ensemble learning, the concept, what it is, how we can implement it, and the types of ensemble, all that we are going to see today. Okay, so if you have missed, please watch out those and let's get started. So what is ensemble learning? So it's all about, okay, let me get my pen. Okay, so you see we have model M, okay, and we give some input and we get some output. So based on this input, whatever we are getting as output, that is our predicted. Okay, so this was what we were doing so far. But in ensemble, what we do is we have this model M1, we have model M2, we have model M3, and so on, model N. Okay, now we give input to this, like we give data set. Okay, now from that data set, the same input goes to here, here, and so on. Okay, now finally all of them gives the output to a common place, so we can say this is our output. And here basically what happens is, for suppose we are doing classification. Okay, so in classification algorithm we get the category, so for that we go for mode, that is which category got the most votes. Okay, and if suppose it is a regression, that is on the continuous value, so in that case we see the mean of all the predictions. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So here we have different types of ensemble learning. Now the types or categories of ensemble learning, how that is made is based on, okay, so overall for any ensemble learning we are going to give one data set. Now how the input is selected, okay, how the input is selected, how this models are selected, whether it is the same model or it is a different model. So based on that, and how the output is generated. Okay, so category 1, like the way we take the input, category 2 the type of model, and finally category 3 the way the output is calculated. It is not about mode or mean, but it is about some stuff we are going to see, whether like there are multi levels of models or only single levels of models. So based on that, the output, the method of getting the output or fetching the output again depends. So based on that we have different types of ensemble learning again. So some of the popular thing that we might have heard of so far is bagging, boosting, okay, random forest. We have various classifiers like Bayesian classifiers and so on. So again in this boosting we are going to have ADA boost and so on. Okay, so we are going to learn about all that. So for today, I hope the ensemble learning concept is clear so far. So we are going to see what is bagging today and what are the ways the bagging can takes the input. Okay, so once we are done with today's bagging, and if you have seen the previous video on decision tree, we are going to cover the random forest in the next, and on the upcoming series we are going to cover boosting techniques. So there are too many other popular things which we can like have. Okay, so one of the popular again thing is stacking, we can say. Okay, so these are like the most I can say the okay, the most the good one. Okay, similarly in the stacking we can say we can manipulate it in the any format. Okay, so stacking, I can say it is not an algorithm, it is a way of combining the models, and it is way of using different models at a different levels, at a different hierarchy. So once we know the concept behind the stacking, we can use it in any manner. Okay, so today's our agenda will be restricted to bagging. So let's get on to the bagging topic. Okay, so getting on to the boosting bagging topic, one second, let me create a new slide. Okay, so let's consider a sample. Okay, so first we are going to see how the input is taken. Based on that we can proceed further. Okay, so suppose we have this data set, okay, who has column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and we have a output, okay, op1. So here I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so I have 10 samples and how many features? 1 2 3 4. So these terminologies keep in mind because we are going to use this parameters again and again. So in this dataset we have 4 features, 10 samples and 1 output. Yeah, obviously it will be 1 output. Okay, now how our bagging will work is, suppose I have 2 models. Okay, 3 models. So M1, M2 and M3. So here is my data set. Now how the algorithm works is, the algorithms, when I call it, I will call it with an instance saying you should take the input from the dataset in 2 ways. Okay, one is bootstrapping. Okay, the other one is okay, the other one second, yeah, pasting. So what's the difference? Okay, so first see what it is. Okay, now let's focus on bootstrapping first. Now what happens in the bootstrapping is, we say, okay, you use the bootstrapping method for collecting the input from the dataset. So in that case what will happen is, M1, for model M1, it will not take all the features in the dataset. It will take, for suppose, C1 and C2. Okay, suppose it took C1 C2 and then this took C2 C3. Okay, and then this took C1 C4. Okay, so here we can see that each data or each model or each classifier is not taking all the data set, and it is also like we are not missing any of the features. Okay, so overall we are covering all the all the features, and also we are not missing any of them. So here it's not like C1 once used cannot be again used. Okay, so we need to keep in mind that bootstrapping is nothing but it makes sure that it takes all the features and it makes sure that okay, so here we can give like I have 4 features, and what is the maximum number of features that you can take in a one collection. So that is a maximum, and minimum also we can mention while creating the classifier instance. So here basically it is taking some of the features, some of the features, some of the features, and there is no restriction on the repetition of it. So that's what bootstrapping is. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now this will predict 1, this will predict 2, this will predict 3. Okay, if this is a classification algorithm, then if it says class 1, if it says class 2, if it says class 1, then our output will be class 1. Okay, now if it is a regression, okay, so here let me mention it is a classification. Okay, it's not classifier, it's classification. Suppose it's a regression, so in that case what I will do, I will take p1 plus p2 plus p3 by 3, that is mean basically. So that's how bootstrapping works. So we are going to jump onto the implementation part, but yeah, before that we forgot this pasting. Okay, so what happens in pasting, let's suppose C1 is already taken. Okay, so we cannot take C1 again, so it's like the replacement is not allowed. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so it's absolutely what bootstrapping does. Okay, it takes different sets of features and makes sure that all of them is covered, but it makes, okay, the only difference or the only point that pasting makes sure is, if something like suppose it wants to choose C2 and C3 for model 2, okay, then it checks whether anyone is used C2 already. If yes, it will not take that. It will again check if C3 has chosen by anyone already. No, then it will take. So that's how it going to work. Okay, so here we can see that there will be no relation between M1 and M2. So because complete data set will be different, because previously what happened, at least M1 and M2 have C2 in common, M1 and M3 has C1 in common, so there was some relation between M1 and M2 M3, which is good, because we are predicting the same output for that given input set, just we are subsetting them. And if there is no relation, because all of them are using different set of features, then it is not good for analyzing. So pasting is just a theoretical concept, we never use it. So bootstrapping is what we use it, but for the demonstration purpose we are going to just okay. So in the code, what happens is there will be a parameter called bootstrap. If it is true, we are going to use bootstrap method, and if it is false, then basically it goes for pasting. So that was all about our bagging thing. So I am going to cover one more algorithm in 2 minutes, that's it, and then we are going to jump to the implementation part. Yeah, so let me create a new slide. Okay, so we have an algorithm called KNN algorithm. So in this KNN, so we are going to use the KNN algorithm. Then we are going to see how the ensemble learning brings out the change in the accuracy and all with the multiple models, usage of multiple models. So that's how we can see, okay, yes, ensemble is useful, right? So what is KNN algorithm? So let's say we have given an input, and we have placed we have plotted the data on here. Okay, let me remove this one, no problem. Eraser. Okay, so I have suppose suppose I have two classes. So class 1, I am keeping it with red color. Class 1, class 1, class 1, class 1, class 1, and class 1. Okay, similarly I have other class called class 2. So class 2, it will be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now this is a simple part. Now what happens in the KNN is, once suppose any other point comes, and that points, if we plot, it comes here. Okay, and we say that okay, now our intention is to find that this point belongs to which class, whether it belongs to the red class or whether it belongs to the green class. So what we do when generally for prediction, we say that we want to make sure that our n, that is in the KNN, I want to say that my n value is 2. Okay, so k is nothing but k nearest. Okay, this is n value, k nearest neighbor. So k value is equal to 2 means what? So I need to find that the nearest 2, or let me say it should never be even. So let me say that first I have to find 3 nearest points. So here 3 nearest points is, for suppose these are the 3 nearest points. Okay, just understand the concept, don't say okay this is closer or this is closer. I'm just assuming that these 3 are closer. Now in these 3 closer, I can see there are 2 reds and 1 green. So majority of them is red, so I can say that this point belongs to class red. So that is the only concept behind the KNN algorithm. So here I can change the value of k to 5 or 7 or anything, but need to make sure that it is odd, because to avoid any kind of conflicts like having a tie. So this KNN, we are going to use it, and then we are going to see what is the accuracy, and after ensemble learning. So here, if you have seen in the ensemble learning, in the bagging technique, we are saying that we have M1 and M2 M3. Now M1 and M2 M3 are different classifiers, so it is up to us whether we want to have same classifiers in all the 3 models, or whether we want to have different classifiers in all these 3 models. Okay, so for this example, we are going to have KNN in all these models. Okay, let's get on to the implementation part. Yeah, so if you can see, I am importing the KNN and the bagging classifier. So let me import that, and after that, if you know about this sklearn dataset, so it is like an inbuilt datasets provide to us for practicing purpose. So in that, I am going to get this breast cancer dataset. So basically it does give me data about some of the patients who doesn't have that cancer, and some patients who have the breast cancers. Okay, I'm going to load it in my dataset. And you can see I'm passing dataset data, that is the features, and dataset.target, that is my output, and based on that I am dividing. Okay, so this train test split I think we have used too many times, so you must have been aware of that by now. Okay, now next what I am doing is I am simply saying, if you can see this k value that I told you right here, how many numbers should it consider for classification, so that I am mentioning 5. I can mention 3 or I can mention anything. Okay, now here what is happening is, in KNN algorithm I am first fitting, that is I am plotting all the data, and then I am pasting each plot and then seeing what is the output and then what is the prediction one and what is the, so it basically after training it gives me the accuracy. Okay, so if I do that I can see 92.3% is my accuracy with the KNN algorithm. Now what I am going to do is, for the bagging classifier I am going to create an instance of bagging classifier, and I am telling, if you can see here, if I click on shift tab, you can see the first thing is base estimator. So that means I need to mention what type of classifier I want to use. So here I am mentioning k neighbor classifier, that is KNN classifier with k value as 5, or I can say k value is nothing but n neighbor, so that is fine. Now n estimators means what? If you can see in this presentation, we had M1 and M2 and M3, means 3 classifiers, so it is 3, but here we are using 10 classifiers. Similarly, maximum samples is like I want all the samples to be considered at the max, so it is like number of rows or number of records. Similarly, maximum features, so if you have seen in my example, I have how many features? I am having 4. So maximum features means I am saying, in when you are picking up ones, that is for one model, you cannot pick more than this number of features, that is maximum number of features that I need to mention. So if you are having any trouble with any of these params, you can scroll down and you can see the description of each of them. Okay, so one of them is this, the bootstrap. So if it is by default true, so bootstrap is true, but if it is a false, then what happens? Then it goes with this technique called pasting. So that is, the columns will be took into the classifier only once, but unlike where bootstrapping, we can take a single column or single feature n number of times. So let's execute this, and here we can see I have executed. Now after executing this, I can see my accuracy now is 93%. Okay, so that was an increment. So here I don't see much increment, but it is generally useful, and I hope the concept behind it you got it. Okay, next I am saying bootstrap is false. So bootstrap is false means what? That I am going with pasting technique. So here if I click on this, okay, now I want accuracy 93.06. so this is not recommended, though we are getting the accuracy here. Maybe it is because the data set or the number of classification, but that is not recommended in real time. So that was all about backing. And one thing that I didn't mention, one more concept, is OOB score. So what is OOB means? OOB means out of bag evaluation. So what happens there is, if you can see, we have how many records? 10 records. Now when C1 and C2 are taking, okay, when C1 is C2 has been taken by M1, it can take 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 record. Okay, and M2 it can take 3, 8, 9, 10 record. M3 it can take first, second, third, fourth, fifth record. Okay, so there is a possibility that some of the records are not taken at all by any modifier, I mean by any classifier or any model. Okay, so those records which are not considered for any for the samples of any model, then we can say that those are left out. So now while calculating accuracy, do I need to consider those as well or not? That is what I am telling here. So if I am saying that you please consider, then I'll say it is true, otherwise I say false. So false in the sense I will be only focusing on on those records which I used for training purpose. So that was about the OOB, but in future we are going to learn this concept called cross validation, k-fold validation. So those kind of things will help us when we have less number of data. Okay, so those things will help us in creating the training and testing sample data in the small number of records. So for now we are using OOB, but we can use the cross validation method as well. So for today, that was all. If you have any queries with respect to the ensemble learning or the bagging technique, please write down in the comment section. And if you like my explanation, please subscribe and share. So that's it for today. Thank you.